From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, October the 4th, 2016. As Jews around the world marked the beginning of a new year, Rosh Hashanah greetings were extended from leaders in Israel and the United States. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released a video message to the Jewish world for the Jewish New Year. Netanyahu referred to the recent loss of former Prime Minister and President Shimon Peres and said Peres's optimism should guide how we look at the new year.
On this Rosh Hashanah, I send warm greetings from Jerusalem to all the Jews around the world. Rosh Hashanah marks the Jewish New Year. It's a time for celebration, a time for reflection. But this year, Rosh Hashanah falls just a few days after a sad day. Shimon Peres, Israel's 9th president, has just passed away. Shimon was a man of vision and optimism. And I think Shimon would want us to celebrate Rosh Hashanah this year by looking back with pride and looking forward with hope. Israel has much to be proud of. Our democracy is thriving, our economy is growing, our relations around the world are getting stronger. As Shimon was, I'm extremely hopeful about our future. Israel will continue working for peace, will continue expanding opportunity for all our citizens, will continue to be a beacon of light and freedom in a dark and repressive region. On this Rosh Hashanah, I ask Jews around the world to remain hopeful and to continue pursuing justice and truth. This is the story of the Jewish people. This is the story of the State of Israel. Shana Tova to all of you. God bless you.
Israel's President Reuven Rivlin expressed his best wishes to the Jewish world as well. In that message, Rivlin issued a direct call to young Jews in the diaspora in particular, urging them to engage and learn more about the Jewish state.
Do not take Israel for granted. Do not forget that our destiny are tied together. I know very well that you may look at Israel and not see yourself in the mirror. You hear arguments about religion between right and left, and you see the conflict that has been forced on us with our neighbors, with our cousins, the Muslims, and you feel you have no voice. I say to you this year, come to Israel and visit. Come to Israel and learn. Israel is a strong democracy. Come and hear and be here and be heard, because we are one people and have a duty to each other.
And U.S. President Barack Obama wished the Jewish world a sweet new year. The president released a video message this weekend, his final Rosh Hashanah greeting as president.
For me personally, my last Rosh Hashanah in the White House is a chance to reflect on the great privilege I've had as president to work closely with the Jewish community, to speak at synagogues here in the United States and abroad, to place a private prayer in the ancient cracks of the Kotel, to retell the timeless story of the Exodus at our annual White House Seders, and to walk through Buchenwald with Elie Wiesel, meet with young Israelis in Jerusalem, and present the Medal of Freedom to Shimon Peres. It's an honor for my family to wish yours another sweet year full of hope, health, and happiness. Shana Tova.
The High Court of the Palestinian Authority ruled yesterday that local elections could only take place in the West Bank for now and not in Gaza. As we reported to you last month, the elections for Palestinians to choose municipal councils across the West Bank and Gaza Strip had initially been set for October the 8th, but back in September, a Palestinian court delayed the elections until the end of December because of disagreements regarding candidate lists and voter participation between the ruling party in the West Bank, Fatah, and terror group Hamas, who rule Gaza. After the court's decision yesterday, the Palestinian Authority announced that elections would be suspended until further notice. Among the many world leaders and officials who attended the funeral last week of former Israeli Prime Minister and President Shimon Peres was Britain's Prince Charles, who before he left Israel visited the grave of his paternal grandmother, Princess Alice of Battenberg, who is buried at the Mount of Olives Church of Mary Magdalene in Jerusalem. Prince Charles was accompanied on Friday to the church, according to the Times of Israel, by head of the Russian Ecclesiastical Mission in Jerusalem, Roman Krasovsky. In 1994, Battenberg was recognized by Israel's Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial as a righteous among the nations for hiding a Jewish woman and her 2 children from the Nazis during the Holocaust. Battenberg, who died in the late 1960s, was originally buried at Windsor Castle, but honoring a wish she expressed before her death, her body was moved to the Mount of Olives in 1988. The American Jewish Historical Society announced that they will honor television personality Larry King and Hollywood filmmaker Brett Ratner at the end of this year. King will be awarded the 2016 Emma Lazarus Statue of Liberty Award, and Ratner will be honored with a brand new award, the Visionary Leadership Award, at the Society's annual award gala in New York City on December the 1st. The Lazarus Award is presented to an individual or group whose contribution reflects the highest values of the American Jewish community. Past recipients include Henry Kissinger, Elie Wiesel, and Ed Koch. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, October the 4th. At 7 o'clock, Professor of Jewish Social Policy at Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, Dr. Stephen Cohen, analyzes the patterns of in-marriage and intermarriage in the Jewish community today. At 8, clinical psychologist and family therapist Neil Marin talks about finding a mate from the Union for Traditional Judaism's Finding Love in the Jewish Community program. And from the same seminar at 8:30, Mark Goldman, founder of Jewish online dating service Saw You at Sinai, offers his thoughts. At 9 o'clock, Mark Golub sits down with feminist author and educator Phyllis Chesler on L'chaim, and at 10, a discussion on non-Orthodox marriage in Israel. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, Mark Golub speaks with Chancellor of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, Arnold Eisen, who talks about the BDS movement, particularly on college campuses, and his suggestions for combating. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, October the 4th, 2016. I'm Teisha Bader.